And now, Talking Boys with the Boys.
And the only thing else I gotta say is, how about this
Cowboys familiar. What's up? This is Talking Boys with the Boys, and we're back again with some of that Cowboys fuego. But first, a little business. Please take a minute to share and subscribe. Leave us a rating and a review wherever you find this pod. 5 stars and a couple of sentences on why you love this pod would be greatly appreciated. And now, the conglomerate, the panel of homies. I'm your host, Adam Y, along with my co-host,
Mark D, also known as the preseason Mark Stradamus D.
Hey, this is Dreezy, but my real friends call me the Heartbreak Kid.
Hey, hell yeah.
This is Mario, also known as the Hispanic Rodney Farba.
Hey, man, we got some special guests tonight, man, on the show, man. Our guys from upstairs, you're across the state lines. Our guys, Cowboys Can Fan Podcast, man. What's happening, fellas?
What up? What
Shaking.
up?
Yeah, yo, meow, meow.
Heck
Thanks
yeah,
for having us.
hell yeah, man. How y'all guys doing tonight, dog?
Great, man.
Or
Thanks for
tonight, or
having
should
me.
I say,
Appreciate it.
how you doing today? Since y'all are 2 hours behind us, right? Midday now.
That's right.
He's like, motherfucker, that sun is still beating my ass up.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, before we jump into this thing, fellas, I just want y'all to bless this episode the only way Cowboys fan can fan podcast can do it, man. And I want you to bless us with a crack 'em if you got 'em toast.
Absolutely.
Crack 'em if you got him, baby.
Crack 'em if
Let's
you got 'em.
go.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
yeah.
Cheers.
It's always best when it's nice and ice cold.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go.
And you know the only way I can do it, Texas whiskey. Distilled in Fort Worth, Texas, baby. Heck yeah. All right, fellas. Well, man, let's jump right into this thing. I want to get spicy right off the bat. Right off the bat for you guys, man. Anthony and Alexander, man, I got a question for you guys. My guy's going to follow right after you guys. But I want to get spicy real quick, man. I want to start the show and bring up a guy. I counted out. Now, I counted this guy out. I know several of us probably did as well. I said he had no place on this defense, nor the scheme. But he's been phenomenal in camp and in preseason so far, beating up the likes of rookie sensation Zion Williams, and also recording a strip sack in the preseason game against the Chargers. So I want to ask you guys, man, has Trysten Hill done enough to stay on this 53-man roster, or does he need to prove more?
Okay, AJ, I'm gonna start with this one here. I think any other year, maybe he stays on the team, but I feel like our biggest depth this year is our D-line. Like, I think any other year, the guy's a shoo-in to be, our last rotation. But this year, our biggest depth position right now is our nose tackles. Like, being Cowboys fans, we know nose tackle and defensive line has been a giant issue forever. And I just think the guy waited too long to show it. It's year 4 for him. And I think it might be a little bit too late for him to now make the team. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been having a great camp, but is it too little, too late? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to make the team just because of a numbers game, strictly.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm kind of straddling the fence on that one. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and straddle my ass right over the fence real quick, okay? Because I think he makes the squad. I do.
Yeah.
Reports out of camp have been comparisons to Tyrone Crawford. Now, I know that everybody, goes, well, Mark, Tyrone Crawford, didn't we have criticisms about him? Yeah, but he was a starting level player that got a big contract. And they're saying that Trysten Hill is reminding them of Tyrone Crawford right now. Now, what he did in the first part of his, I guess you could call that a career on what he was attempting there for a little bit under Nolan, under Marinelli. Last year, he had some production. He was coming along from what they were saying in the preseason and in camp, but he had an injury. And this year, it seems like he continued that production. He's third on the depth chart, but in a rotation on that D line, like we see, I think that from a 1 to a 3 tech, you can even kick him out to defensive end. He fits perfectly with what they're trying to do. And given how his production is, I had this question asked me the other day. They were going, do you think that strip sack actually bought him a little more time? I was going, I think actually he was solidified before that happened, to be honest with you, in DQ's mind. I really do. What he can do and what DQ needs out of the 1 tech all the way out to the edge, he provides that perfectly. And the issues he had wasn't anything physical. Let's remember, he was a 2nd round draft pick. It was upstairs. You know, Marinelli was not babysitting his ass because apparently he was too immature for what he was trying to do. And we all wrote him off. We all did. I got it. You know, but now he's motivated. He's in a make it or break it year, you know, contract year. And in the same sense, I think that from what we've been hearing, he's not only been producing, but he's been whipping some ass too. So I think he makes the squad.
Alexander, let me ask you this, man. In regards to the D line, I mean, how many are you keeping? And as Mark said, they're interchangeable, right? On this defense?
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
Okay. We were talking about this kind of. It plays into a little bit this question a little bit about how many wide receivers and running backs they'd keep, and because we have Shultz and they're kind of playing a receiver role, do you go one less receiver, and then does that mean that you can keep that player and put them over and keep more of a more defensive line?
Yeah.
I would actually like to see them keep more wide receivers, but I think in the case here with what the hell's his name?
Tristan.
Trysten Hill.
Yeah.
He's I still think he's young. Like he's 4 years in the league, but I think he's like 24. He's a big boy, 300 pounds. For me, he fits that mold. But I do think it's kind of a shiny, like the league is a little bit of like the shiny thing will be attractive to you. So the fact he got the strip sack, I think that is enough just as in a general argument, like is a strip sack enough to win a spot on a team? I say yes. But
hey, I want to cut in here. AJ, I'm cutting over you. Sorry, I'm cutting over you. This is my thing. If you guys think you keep them, which I'm all fine for, I think having defensive tackles that can produce and get in there and get to the quarterback's huge. But who are you cutting over him? That's the issue. It's hard to.
That's what I want to know too.
Who do you say? Okay, Trysten Hill, you've played out of your mind. Who's now not?
Simi's on my practice squad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Simi's on my practice squad because go ahead.
I think the only guy who can be expendable if you are going to keep Trysten Hill, because I think he's done enough to stay on this team.
Carlos Watkins.
But exactly, it's Carlos Watkins.
Damn.
Because he's a little older, right?
Yeah.
So he's Trysten Hill younger. But I got a little bit different perspective on this, and I think Trysten Hill is playing so well. He has shown us flashes every single season, but he has a problem with consistency, right? So just like Anthony said, now he's kind of a hot topic, right? He's got the strip sack. You know, they're rating him up here. What if he's the guy that we trade for some offensive line help? While his stock is a little bit higher up here, Josh Ball ain't cutting it. Waletzko's hurt. We need a swing tackle, man. There's no other way about it, you know. So maybe he's the piece that we use for that, because if he's going to stay on this team, I think the only guy that they take him over is Carlos Watkins, because we got these young guys in the interior, guys that they drafted, Bohanna, Ridgeway, Golston, who bump down inside, who can play, you know, inside and outside. So that, to me, that's the only way in a contract year that Trysten Hill stays on this team.
But the thing with that,
Watkins.
But the thing with that, Mario, is I think in the NFL we probably value him the most out of anybody. You know, we place the highest value on this guy.
That could be.
And what kind of trade value are we going to get for him? Because I did see, you know, a few things they were discussing, an offensive lineman, I think on Twitter somewhere from the Patriots standpoint, and they started throwing different names out there. Because what we see, because look, I think he makes the squad, and I'm enthusiastic about what I can see on the field, but that doesn't mean he's going to do it during the regular season at all.
Exactly.
That, you know, there's going to be rotational aspects to this, but he's not going to get in there and get all these snaps. It's a rotation at D-line. You know, it's a rotation of players that have a certain system to what they can do. On that strip sack, when we talk about it, but when I went back and looked at it on the tape and when I analyzed it, that wasn't something, oh shit, look what I got. He knew what he was doing there. He went to the shoulder of the offensive lineman. He went straight to where he was going. So I don't know, when it's going to depend on what DQ feels about him. Because when he looks at this tape, and with the tape up to this point, if he's going, no, he's solid. That wasn't just an aberration or something I was hoping I was going to get from him. He's on the squad. And as far as the numbers game is concerned, Simi, we only got one receiver spot open, guys. That Turpin solidified. Now, as far as that being sewn up, that means that there's only one spot open. And I don't know if I'm giving it to Simi, you know?
So getting back to that, I saw a depth chart that was made after the game Saturday, and they have us keeping 5 receivers. Of course, Lamb, Tolbert, Noah, Simi, and Turpin. No Dennis Houston, who's been everyone's favorite receiver. They have Tristan on there. So like the homie said, not only on the D line, who are we cutting? Who across the board of the 53 are we cutting? I don't want to go just 5 receivers. That is an area of need. I want the 6th receiver there and cut Tristan. Or just cut some fat somewhere else. Why is it an area of need, though, Drazy? Why is it an area of need? Because we've already seen that we're going high into 12 personnel with this tight end, game. We are. And as far as the wide receiver room is concerned, if we're talking about what we're going to do with this, it looks like we're run-based in kind of a run-first offense mode in preseason. Now, I know what everybody say. It's just preseason. They're not showing all these things. They're staying vanilla. But you don't build on something then do something complete opposite. Yeah. They're not going to run the ball, do these types of things, and then go, Dak, 40 times a game, baby, let's go. They're not going to do that. Sure, but at the end of the day, we need bodies to play receiver. And I know what you're going to say about the tight ends is our actual receivers, but we need physical bodies out there to trot out there to play these spots, right?
But everybody's noticed
if Turpin is taking up one of those spots, it's primarily as a returner, right? But he's taking up a wide receiver spot. Exactly. How much can he contribute to the offense? We don't know yet. So I understand where you're coming from there.
That's why not keep Houston? Because he's been everyone's favorite receiver in camp. Let's see what he can do.
All right.
I agree.
Well, let me segue to this then. Since we brought up Houston, right? Anthony and Alexander do. I'm just going to jump around my notes, right? We have camp ballers. We've had them every single fucking year, right?
There we go.
Dennis Houston is Lance Lenoir. Deron Bland, Maurice Canady. Will they continue to carry that mojo into the season, or are they getting the axe? That's what I need to know, fellas. And we kind of alluded to now. Yeah,
I would kind of say that it's like if you go to history, it's against them, right? Like you said, we always have these camp all-stars that you hear so much about in camp, and you get excited for them, and then last roster cuts, the guy's gone, right? So you hear about this all. I'm trying to think like the last guy that was kind of like a camp star that was undrafted that actually had some impact for multiple years. And I was just thinking of this at work when I was supposed to be working, and I'd read what you were talking about tonight. And the last one I can think of was Cole Beasley. That's off the top of my head. And I just don't know if any of those guys are going to be able to come in. One, they're not slot guys. I feel like it's probably easier to come in as a slot wide receiver and maybe have success than it is to go on the outside as a Houston and go up against these number 1 cornerbacks or number 2 cornerbacks. So I think history is probably against them to make the team.
Fact.
And even like you guys are talking about right now, if we're only going to go with 5 wide receivers, then that basically takes any of the. Can we say the F word? Can we say the F word on here?
Say whatever the fuck you want.
We can say all kinds of fucking shit.
Dog.
Hey, you cannot say on this fucking podcast, bro.
Well, I don't know. So
say it. You can't.
Let it fly, brother.
I think they're fucking gone, man. I don't think they have a fucking
chance. Look, man. Look, I agree with you in that sense, but there is an aspect of this that I look at because I have Maurice Canady like withdrawal. Okay, I really do. All right, I'm calling Candy Man, all this other shit. But there is a difference between Deron Bland and there's a difference between Deron Bland and Maurice Canady, though. And I gotta and I'm talking to Mario on this because I was looking at some stuff and he had an idea one day, and I wanted to see what this would look like because Deron Bland can work the boundary. Deron Bland can work the boundary. He is. I don't know if he's a boundary corner, but he can go out there and work the boundary. Maurice Canady went nowhere near the boundary. He's a slot corner. Deron Bland can play the slot with the best of them. And it's very interesting to me because Canady had a limitation to him. Deron Bland doesn't have those limitations. Yeah. And as far as the D coordinator is concerned with Deron Bland, he loves it. Dennis Houston, that's a very interesting player to me because we have all these camp players. We have all these kids camp production. Lance Lenoir was number 18, I believe, or was number 14. He was supposed to be something pretty serious in the slot and go to the outside. We were developing him in the preseason. He was having some nice toe drag swag down the sideline, and then he just fell off and got cut. Okay. So when we look at it from a Dennis Houston standpoint, he has had some production, but at the same time, this last game, he kind of disappeared in a sense, he didn't go out there and do exactly what I thought he was going to do with Will Greer at quarterback. And then but there is a positive on this because he is going against, they both did. Anybody, paging Simi, Simi, anybody, please bring Simi for Oko to the fucking call desk, please. Right. But when you're looking at it in practice, the thing that gives me some positive about Dennis Houston is, in my opinion, y'all know how I feel about Anthony Brown now. Hey, he's my Pro Bowl selection this year, barring injury. I can go through a litmus of plays where I see Dennis Houston getting AB and then getting Trayvon. And on a regular basis on his routes. So when I look at him, I'm like, this dude might be an NFL receiver, but I'm not too sure about that.
And trusted by Dak, apparently.
But, the thing about it is, man, he's a 6th-round pick. He's not going to come in. Let's say he does make the squad and he's playing during the regular season. He ain't going to come in and people going, all right, let's see what he can do. He's going to take what he can get. He's going to eat where he can.
Absolutely.
That's the way it'll be, and then if he fades up to the side, somebody to be like, well, he didn't do what he was supposed to. He's a capable level receiver. That's enough.
And every offseason we look for these diamonds in the rough, right? That a lot of them end up being cubic zirconia.
I like it.
What it comes down to for me is coaching.
Yep.
And I trust DQ more than I trust these offensive coaches. So if you're looking at Deron Bland, there's a lot of similarities to another guy that DQ drafted a little late, ended up being an all-pro player, and that's Richard Sherman. Right, Deron Bland drafted in the 5th round. The measurables are right around the same. Sherman's like 6'3", 195. Bland is 6'2", 205. Right, they got that length. They got the ability, like Mark says, to play inside and outside. So this kid Bland coming in this offseason and so far this preseason has been what we expected last year from Dan Quinn's guys, which was KJ and Nishan Wright. Right, He's outplayed the both of them, arguably, and I think we can all agree on that here on this panel. So if I'm going to lean one way, and I expect one of these guys to make the roster and the other one's not, it's definitely Deron Bland. Dennis Houston, he's flashing, he's playing well, but Dreezy touched on it earlier. How many receivers?
Wait, hold on, real quick, Mario. How did Dreezy touch on it? That's what I want to know.
and I was wondering, what if he leans both ways? You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I'd rather keep Houston. I'd rather keep a receiver. I'd rather keep almost the unknown, the guy with potential, than the guy who's honestly burned us the past 4 years. Like, I know he shows flashes, but then that motherfucker will disappear. So you're
dropping Deron Bland and keeping Dennis Houston.
No. I'm dropping Trysten Hill. I never said Bland at all. No, Bland's got a spot. I'm still going back to the.
Oh, so you're going all the way back? Yeah, okay.
I'm still thinking about
Trysten Hill over Houston, though.
I like this guy.
No, because in my head, I was going back to the 53 man.
Yeah.
Because that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah.
So.
But look, I hate to burst everybody's bubble with this offense, man. But there's a trend that they're showing, and I don't know if anybody's paying attention. They're going to be run heavy. Noah Brown is wide receiver 2. He's not even dressed out for the games, guys. So I hate to burst the bubble of everybody thinking Tolbert's going to come in and do these amazing things down the sideline. The way they're prepping this offense till Gallup gets situated is they're going to go run heavy with it. Noah Brown's going to be in doing duties in the blocking aspect of it, maybe running a few slants, but we're not looking to him to be, okay, hey, we need 5 to 10 catches out of you, bro. So what I'm saying with that is, where does Dennis Houston fit with the offense then? Because I can tell you where Trysten Hill fits on the defensive line rotation.
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, with these deeper slots on the depth for like a skill position like a wide receiver or cornerback, I like to start looking for like either extreme physical traits or like just a pure athlete who has maybe a skill set that we can teach or work with for a handful of plays a game. So like, he hasn't even been mentioned, and maybe that's because I'm a little behind the ball, but TJ Vasher is that 6'6", 220, 30-foot frame. To me, is much more interesting than a Houston on the team with the talent they have. Because Turpin's coming in, he's being that speedster. And so I like to me, that's like this unique quality that he has. And like, you know, catching aside, he can run with that ball. Yeah. The same with TJ Vasher. Could he play? And I'm not saying that he is the guy, but just that type of frame that he has, it's like there's like 2 or 3 plays that can be designed for him when we're in the red zone. That's going to happen in the playoffs sometime, and that's when
body somebody up, little back shoulder fade, something like that. Use that length, use that height. Yeah.
And then for the nose tackle scenario or just our front line, I guess I like Ridgway. And I'm a little biased because he's coming in a rookie and he's kind of like he's just like a mean guy. I like his mean attitude. So if I really had
I'm starting to sour on Ridgway a little bit.
Well, I would I'd push him over Hill, but only because I have this in my mind that he's like a meaner player, and I could be completely wrong. So
I'm going with this. The Vanilla Gorilla ain't showed up in preseason yet. Y'all seen it?
He hasn't. Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's why I'm like, I mean, I got you on that. I guess it comes down to me for a player who's in a rotation already or a just-in-case player. Because we look at the offense, and I know I want Tony Pollard in the slot. And then I'm looking at Turpin like this is a brand-new toy. Hey, jet sweeps. Maybe slot, but no, he'll get killed in the slot. 155, guys. He's going to get destroyed. He's on the outside to go down the field. Because there's people who look at it, they're like, dude, put Turpin in the slot. I was like, dog, he's 5'7", 155.
He's like Mario.
You don't want him in the slot, bro.
You
don't want him in the slot, bro. You want to take the top off the defense, or you want to quit hit to him on the
this ain't Dallas,
you don't want to
Texas.
get his body separated in the slot, bro.
Mario looks like he's about to take the top off the D right now.
You're taking the top off the D, all right. Not the D you're thinking of.
All day, every day.
Hey, if you ever see my guy in skinny jeans, you know why. Yeah. Well, speaking of Turpin, man, let's
it's my screensaver.
Let's segue to that, man. Like I said, we're jumping around on the notes, man, and since we brought up Turpin a couple of times, dog. We've seen how great a returner Turpin is. Does he have a place on this offense, and what would y'all guys do with him in this offense? And does he push Simi down the roster?
I think so. Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah.
And reason why we're bringing him in as a return specialist, obviously, but he shows something other than what we already have. Kind of what Alex was saying. He's like kind of a gadget player where you're not putting Simi's not hopping in front of any of our other wide receivers, whereas a Turpin, you can put him in packages that you're not going to have Simi in, right? So again, I don't think you're putting him in the slot because one hit by a fucking anybody and he's dead.
Done.
Like if anybody gets a clean shot on this cat, he's fucking dead, right? Like he's actually
seriously
dead. But as far as like the Simi thing,
he's fucking dead. I love that.
He's fucking dead. He's in my opinion 100% on the team. I don't know who he's going to push out. This is the first year in a long time that I've been more confident in our defensive structure and coaching and depth chart than the offense. Like usually going into season, you knew what the offensive depth chart was.
100%.
Like you knew what was happening, and then it was kind of like defense was kind of like, okay, well, let's just see what they throw on the depth chart and we'll roll with it. It's kind of switched now. So it's like it could go 100 ways, and I'm actually excited to see what they do. And I imagine even after they first release the initial one, it's going to change 45 times throughout the season. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what they go with.
I think that I don't think Turpin has any role in this offense. No, I don't.
What?
Because it'll come at the expense of Tony Pollard, man. You know, you said
a jet sweep wouldn't. A jet sweep would not.
But you said it, Anthony. You said it. Gadget player, right? He's a gadget player. How many gadget players Kellen Moore utilizes in his offense? He doesn't.
Zero.
He doesn't even utilize Tony Pollard the way we want him to. So if I don't think it has anything to do with Simi Fehoko, he might push Fehoko out, but it's a numbers game. And like Dreezy said earlier, it'll come at the expense somewhere else, right? If there's a player that I think is directly affected by Cavante Turpin's spot in this roster, it's CJ Goodwin. because I think that in the coaches meeting, they're going to say, all right, Bones Fossil, you got a choice. You can take Kamante Turpin, or you can take TJ Goodwin. Who do you think he's going to take? The guy that
he wasn't on that
touchdowns for.
Yeah, he's not on the depth chart.
No, exactly. The guy who can go score touchdowns for us. That's who Bones Fossil's going to choose. He can flip field position.
Okay, Mario. Okay.
I mean,
bring it up.
He's gonna be
I like that. I like that card. CJ Good motherfucking win. Okay.
But
well, I'll respectfully disagree because CJ Goodwin is one of our best special team aces. I don't look at depth
along
charts,
with Anthony Brown, fellas. Along with Anthony Brown.
Hey, Dreezy, on the depth chart, Will Greer is behind Cooper Rush, bro.
No, not the one I'm looking at.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Depth charts don't mean shit to me. That's what I'm saying. So as far as Turpin's concerned with the offense, though, I think he does have a place on it, because when you look at it, remember Tavon Austin? Remember what Tavon Austin could do for this offense? We're not looking at a package of plays for him. What we're looking
just got released, by the way. we can put him back on this team.
Well, I'm not, dude. They were trying to make him a number one at different times and then making him into a gadget player. They understand what Turpin would be. I mean, if you have a run first offense, which we probably will be for the first 4 or 5 games of the season, which I think will be anyway, but I don't want to get in that argument. You have a downhill type of offense. You're going downhill. You know what will happen if you have a little dude who can run a 4-2, 4-3 just coming laterally? I mean, he showed that in this previous game. I mean, that there's a place for that. There definitely is. You know, and Kellen Moore doesn't have to be a genius to utilize that. Hey, the little motherfucker nobody can catch, give it to him in space. It's not that hard. And no, go ahead.
I had a question, but go ahead and finish your point there if you want.
I'm waiting for a liter of cola.
Okay. I'm just wondering, from last year, like, I had big high hopes for Kellen Moore given his young boyish looks, but he didn't really like deliver. And I don't know if it was just because they were dealing with the injuries and we're trying to just mask a couple things. Do you think Kellen Moore? I'm allowed to ask questions on this, right?
Fuck yeah.
No.
Do you think no? Do you think Kellen Moore has it in him to like utilize a gadget player? Like we say that he had it in Pollard last year. We didn't see it really.
Hey, we got two on the panel here that say yes, 2 that say no. I think he has.
Hold on real quick.
Wait, hold on
real quick. Is Bill going to bring up his Daddy Yankee glasses that he put on a few minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to bring up those Daddy Yankees.
I couldn't see. I can see now. God damn. Well, what I will say.
He said, "There you are, Dreezy."
Hey, what I will say, Anthony Alex, is, man, can he do it? Yes. Will he do it? Probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Thank you.
He got criticisms on not being able to use the tight end. I mean, there were people who were like, we can't draft Pitts because Kellen Moore doesn't know what the fuck to do with the tight end. Go ask Hendershot if he doesn't know what the fuck to do with the tight end. You know what I'm saying?
I know a couple of people who know what to do with a tight end.
And make it into a wide receiver.
But the argument about the Kellen Moore being able to utilize the player, the argument's there with Tony Pollard. We've had Tony Pollard on the roster for how many years, and we all would use Tony Pollard a million different ways than Kellen Moore has. Like we've had a poor man's Deebo Samuel on the team for how long, and you don't see him getting any of the fucking types of plays. Like, kind of go, just do something creative with a Tony Pollard. So Kellen Moore is, just anything. So that's the only thing that makes me feel like he isn't going to be able to take a gadget player and set up plays for him. That's the only thing.
No, and I agree on the Tony Pollard, and I just I guess my thing is I have never seen a dude get so much fucking hate for having a top 5 offense.
Fair. One almost.
Fair, my boy.
Hey, welcome to the Cowboys, baby.
Hey, who's the
you're right.
for the Chiefs? Right. I want Biadisz. I want Kellen Moore's numbers are better. I still want Biadisz.
Yeah. No, you're right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do it when it counts, Mark. That's why.
Or was it inflated from the first
home playoff game?
We all watched the game.
Okay.
But
let me ask you.
I can't put the blame that I put on Mike McCarthy and then say Kellen Moore sucks and just say DQ. He saved fucking everything. Like, as far as what I see going into that San Francisco game, that was Mike McCarthy's fuck up, not Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I will say,
it was.
And then leading into that game, didn't we hit 40, 50, and 50? Kellen Moore did his fucking job, guys.
Wait a sec. You're right. It was Mike McCarthy's fuck up by not taking the play calling away from Kellen Moore and calling plays himself.
Can he though? Like my thing is going to be better. Like, hey, can he though? Because he blew smoke up our asses about these fucking analytics that he fucking learned, and then he went, he's like, hey, goddamn, fucking, goddamn, I've been fucking studying all this shit, and then he's ready to pop off, and he's ready to pop off, and Jerry's like, Kellen's gonna have it. He's like, blue balls for 2 years. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. All right, well, go ahead.
Jerry will edge you. Jerry will edge you.
hey, Jerry Jones is amazing, man. He can have you in his fucking office and be like, look, you're a part of this circle. You're a part of this circle. We love you, but now you're outside the circle and fuck you. You got it?
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, speaking of packages. Talking about me so much. Hey, man, I gotta ask you guys this, man. Should Kellen utilize? And we just talked about Kellen utilizing gadget players, but I want to know: should Kellen utilize what we like to call here on Talking Boys with the Boys, the FERGUSHULTZ package? Schultz and Ferguson, and go 12 personnel in the beginning of the season until Gallup returns.
As long as we're not running to Schultz's side, yes. as long as Schultz doesn't have to fucking block anyone, yeah, he can be out there. But I don't know. Schultz is a terrible blocker.
I love you give me so much
not on Twitter
to argue with you because Schultz I think is a much better blocker than people give credit for. Man, quit stalking Schultz, dog. Like, you're like, hey, what's the matter? You're like, Dalty, what happened?
Dalty, what happened?
You're like, you're so salty now, Dalty.
And I took all of your counter arguments seriously until you said you thought Dalton Schultz was a good blocker. I mean, I don't know if I can take anything else you say seriously now.
Well, he was top 10 in the NFL, and I haven't taken anything you said seriously the whole time. So don't worry about it, bro. I made that determination 10 minutes in, bro.
Yeah. No, but for the listeners out there, if they don't know what 12 personnel is, that's one single back, 2 tight ends on the field, man. We can do several things out that package. And I mean, I think it's
you can do several things with this package too.
It's worth knowing that a guy like Ferguson is really, really Dreezy. He's really having a good preseason and camp, man. If you would have saw the game, I like the way he broke away. I like the way he broke away on that little.
I like the way he plays, man. I like the way he plays.
I think out of necessity, we're going to have to do a lot of 12 personnel, whether we want to or not. Because, like I said, outside of CD, like I said last week, our receivers is a 3rd-round rookie, Simi, Noah Brown, and Dennis Houston, only if they keep him. So none of those guys are scaring right now NFL offenses. They're just not. So I think out of necessity,
they haven't been on the field, so of course they're not, Dreezy.
But Mark, you can't honestly tell me that NFL defenses will look at Noah Brown, Simi Fioco, and actually lose sleep.
Dreezy, I will say this: if you're a defensive coordinator and you're not losing sleep about a top 5 to 10 offense, you're not doing your fucking job.
You're not losing sleep over Noah fucking Brown, man. I'm sorry, you're not. Noah fucking Brown and Simi Fioco.
The job he's gonna have with this offense. You see, that's the thing, though, Dreezy. What are we expecting out of Noah Brown? What are you expecting out of him? Because I'm expecting him to do his fucking job.
I'm not expecting shit. I'm not expecting anything, but Cowboys Twitter is expecting a whole lot out of this cute little camp that he's had. I'm not expecting shit. I'm not expecting shit from Simi, from Noah Brown. Tolbert, I have lower expectations. I think he'll be fine, but we are going to be in a fucking mess until Gallup comes back. And like I said, we're all hoping and praying that Gallup has the most seamless fucking recovery ever known to man. That he just comes right in week 3, week 4, and doesn't miss a beat. That's asking a lot, man.
All right, let me ask the guys. Let me ask my guys from Canada here. Are we in a world of hurt? Are we in a world of hurt until Gallup gets back? Is that what we're thinking here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we're in a world.
I don't either.
Wait. But so when do we think Gallup's coming back? Week 3 or 4, something like that? Do you guys think that's kind of
when will Gallup really be back?
Yeah,
but
like
when do we think that? Like, who are we waiting for? Fucking Gallup that we wanted to be a productive receiver and be our number 1 2 games in a row, and he never did it. Like, that's what we're waiting for. That dude. Like, I don't know, man. I think Tolbert 3 or 4 games into the fucking season can take the top off the defense like Gallup if he gets it. You know, I mean, Gallup is a really good player, but I'm not saying that he's CD, and I can't just wait till he gets back because I don't know what we're going to do till then. I do know what we're going to do till then. You know,
run.
I just
run the ball.
Yeah,
run and run.
But not to Shultz side.
But not to Shultz side. Unless you have someone, at least you have to have someone chipping the guy, or at least someone blocking with him.
Yeah,
I don't want him taking a DN by himself. That's the only thing I don't want with Shultz. They have him going 1-on-1 against DNs on fucking passing plays sometimes. I just don't want that shit. I'm fine with him run blocking. I just don't want him going 1-on-1 against a star defensive end. That's it.
Google Shultz on Bosa, and maybe it'll give you a little different opinion.
That's
Nick
the
or
difference
Joey?
from last year, though. That's the difference
Nick
from
or
last
Joey?
year. So we're talking about top 5
Joey.
offense last year, right? If you come into this season, Amari Cooper's gone, Michael Gallup's injured. So this offense will have to be different. It's not the same top 5 offense from last season. They're going to have to run the ball. We're not going to see Dak Prescott throwing for 400-yard games in the first 5 weeks of the season unless the Cowboys are getting the shit kicked out of him and he's throwing 60 passes a game like he did in week 1 against Tampa last season. So the offense
Gallup wasn't in this offense last season. Gallup was not in this offense last season, guys, at all, basically. I mean, he was out the majority of the season, then he tore his ACL 2 games in. Again.
Okay, but Cooper and Said were, though. Cooper and Said were, and they're not here anymore. Those are a lot of targets
So what
gone.
I need out of Tolbert and Noah to make up for Cooper is 400 yards each.
Okay.
That don't look like shit.
But can they do it?
I think so much.
That's
not asking a lot, dog. I mean, you can get 400 yards in your sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be asking a lot when you haven't done it for the 6 years of your fucking career. I mean,
well, neither had Cedric Wilson though, Mario. We've had this fucking argument before. Neither had Laurent Robinson until Tony Romo gave it to him. Until you're focused on it in offense, and until somebody features you, I'm not going to sit here and go, "Oh my fucking god, what are we doing?" Well, first of all, I don't even know to complain about that because I haven't seen it in an offensive package yet.
Well, first of all, I'm not panicking. I don't want you to get the impression that I'm panicking. This offense is going to change. It's a defensive-minded team now. I think we can all see that by the offseason moves, by the draft.
Go there with it, my friend. Go there with it, my friend.
The offense just has to keep up, right? The offense has to do just enough, and our defense is going to hold it down. So I said this defense is going to be elite this season. Elite. And I got people laughing at me on Twitter, telling me that I'm foolish and that they gave up a lot of yards last year. And how can I say they're going to be elite? They're going to be elite, man.
No,
that's just the internet.
We have a top 6-7 quarterback in the league, but we're not relying on our offense to win games for us this season. That's especially early on with Gallup out and with a lot of rookies that need to get acclimated to the NFL game. Right?
Are y'all leaning? Are my boys over there in Canada leaning on this defense as well? Is this defense now the priority? Are we throwing? Or is this defense going to be elite enough to carry this team? Even in the,
I think
they have to be.
It has to. It has to. Our defense has to. It has to pull some weight because, like you guys have all made up great points with guys we've lost, guys we have. We haven't even really touched on. Are you guys happy with the offensive line? Like, I don't know. There's just too many questions on the offense that we have to hope that our defense can come in and be elite. They don't even really have to be elite. They just have to be, I think, top. If our defense can be top, I'm going to say even 15, and then our offense can just keep the ball and not turn over the ball. We have enough playmakers. We have a good quarterback who can mask some of the issues, right? Like Dak will be able to mask some stuff on offense, but then your defense has to be able to come back and play almost better than they did last year.
Absolutely. All right. Well, since we're talking about the trenches, right, fellas? It brings me up to another segue, another question, man. I want to ask you guys, Anthony and Alex, man. given what we've seen from Biadisz in the past, because when we're talking about the trenches, baby, we're talking about center, we're talking about guards, left and right, you know what I'm saying? But specifically center, right? I want to know this, man. Given what we've seen from Biadisz in the past and what we know from Biadisz in the past, has Farniok shown enough to have a real shot at taking this man's job?
It's difficult to say that, man. Well,
it's his job to lose. It's his job to lose. Tyler has to lose the job. Like, he's not gonna lose it.
Exactly.
He has to do something to force the hand of the Cowboys coaching staff to then be like, all right, well, this other dude's been playing well, let's get him in. But starting off the season, Tyler is 100% the starter in my mind.
Well, and the thing about it's going to come down to is pass blocking, because when you look at this offense, we have a zone blocking scheme. You know what these guys do is they attack an area, and if whoever the fuck is there, they clean them up. Okay, that's the way they block. That's not that hard to do. Okay, that's not that challenging. So when we look at Farniok, and we saw the other night, he got to the second level of the defense, and he picked the goddamn linebacker up and threw his ass out of the way. Okay, so we all see that, and we're like, damn, can he take Biadisz's job? It's like, we'll slow down a little bit. We just have somebody who's serviceable, who can work in the run game and do his job. Now we got to see what he can do in pass protection. And I think we're going to see a lot of pass plays out of this next preseason game to try to challenge that. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of different stuff from that end to challenge what the players can do. That's what people don't realize sometimes when they're watching preseason. They want to win, and they want this to happen, that to happen. And they don't realize that on the defensive and offensive end, they'll do things just to get situational looks and see what they can do in those standpoints. Now, what they'll probably do is put Farniok in there and just run a lot of goddamn pass plays and see if he gets fucking forklifted once or twice.
And I'm glad you got that up, Mark, because not only do we see one side of it, you know, most of the running game, but also he was doing that against the 2s and 3s of the Chargers now. He's not going up against the starting lineups of these opposing teams.
I will say one thing: he did look dominant, not just good.
So Anthony, you said, you know, earlier it's or I don't know if it was Anthony or Alex. You know, it's
Antone right here.
It's Biadisz's.
Are you saying they all look alike, Mario? Is that what you're saying?
I think he's saying
I didn't know who said it because I stepped away. So it's Biadisz's job to lose. The Cowboys, you know, they tend to go with more safe route when it comes to these kinds of decisions. You know, it takes a lot for them to decide this guy's not good enough with this guy, right? So Biadisz is going to have to be outrageously terrible, or Farniok is going to have to be incredibly much better to be able to make that switch. Right?
I will say one thing, Mario. Getting forklifted is incredibly bad, though. If he does that once or twice, they're going to have to push their fucking hand. You know what I'm saying?
They've been putting up with it.
But I mean, maybe real quick, this is also something that's very fucking like, shit, that's not what they've been saying, Mark. Hey, Philbin's been doing a good job with this line, huh? It's better. I mean, there was some consistency to it, and then it developed from what I saw. And looking at the joint practice, there was consistency on the line that was demonstrated. There was consistency that built into dominance into the game. That's a good job, Philbin. Good job. I'm not scared to say that.
A good job.
We're going to have a lot of our questions answered after week 1, after playing the Bucs defense and Vita Vea up there in the middle. We got a lot of our questions answered when it comes to the center spot.
Yeah.
By that point, like, see, we're going to have those final decisions made, and I think that's the kind of unfortunate thing about a 3-game preseason, but it is the truth. There's we better hope we get a lot of questions answered in week 3, because there's a lot of these decisions on, and maybe this is just how it is with every NFL team, but there's a lot of these decisions that they're going to have to start making for the final roster. And you're going to have to rank basically what do we need most, and then you're going to have to more than likely make a decision that isn't the one that you would make if you could make them all, right? So there's going to be some people who get cut from one of these positions who are going to be like, what the hell are you doing? This guy should be
always is, man. There always is.
Yeah. And to what you said, Alexander, man, this is like one of the I guess this is one of them seasons that we really have depth at, man. And I'm not just saying that, dude. Like, besides, we'll say besides the tackle position. I mean, that's You know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, like we said, we brought it up earlier. We talked about it earlier. The defensive tackle spot. I mean, Jesus Christ, depth. DBs, depth. Linebackers. Now that you brought in Anthony Barr, depth. You know what I mean? Damon Clark.
Jabril Cox had a. Yeah. That's the first time. The other thing is preseason action. That's the first time I've seen Jabril Cox get some extensive burn. He did a nice job, man.
Wait, hold on. Real quick. Did he say Cox and burn?
Yeah, I did. Don't let it burn.
I never experienced that. I'm just saying.
You fucking liar.
Then you haven't lived.
Then you haven't lived, right?
Fucking liar. You had drippy dick, you fucking liar.
Green break.
Green
break, Papa.
Spring break 1998. I felt it, baby.
That was a good spring break.
But you're right. I mean, speaking of Cox was all over the field, man. I mean, we saw him chase down.
They usually are in NFL games, but anyway.
Yeah, we've seen what he can do laterally. It looks like the ACL's holding up. You know what I mean? He put the burners on a few times, man. Ran down the quarterback a few times. Had to chase from the back, of course. Some things happened. The pocket broke, and the quarterback ran out of it, and he chased him down the sideline. I mean, he looks like he's in a position where this is what we want him to do, right? This is what we've been wanting from Cox. This is the Cox from LSU. This is the Cox. This is the Cox. Cox.
When you look at him, man, and let's say that he was healthy enough last year playing that San Francisco game, and let's say that he had some experience at that point. There were a few times Debo was coming down in a wheel route the same way that he covered right there in that previous game. I think Cox would have made, would have been stiff in that game.
Absolutely. But back to the depth, man. Like there's depth, man. There's finally depth on this team, dog. In regards to the tackle spot, right?
You know what the crazy thing is, though? This isn't even taken into account after final cuts off of other teams if we have eyes on other people, right? So, like, there might even be something that we might go pick up another wide receiver at tackle, or who knows what position from another team that got cut, and then that just totally changes everything we're saying right now, right? There's a bunch of shit that can happen around the league.
Or kicker.
I was going to say, that's the Black Friday I want for a kicker. Exactly, Dreezy.
Yeah,
that's the Black Friday I want for a kicker right there.
Absolutely, man. All right, man. Well, let's do this, man. I gotta bring this up because we discussed this the other day as well with the guys here, man. We kind of said, I mean, we don't put much into the top 100, right? We don't. Well, not on this podcast, but we do it for shits and giggles as well, just like anybody else, man. Because we think it's more of a popularity contest, more high school, who's the prom king and who's the prom queen type of deal, right? So we kind of, but we did say we thought Trayvon was going to fall around the 40s. He ended up being, 23? Am I correct, fellas? Okay. Yeah, 23.
That was surprising.
I said the 20.
Okay. Look at Mario. Okay. I said the 20s.
I had my numbers, motherfucker.
You're not Mexican Turpin.
Hell yeah.
Seriously, Doug.
All right. Well, we haven't seen where Micah's at. So I guess I would ask you fellas here,
top
man.
20.
Where do we think Micah is gonna fall? Where do we really think? Because we said top 20. There was me and Mark for sure said probably the 20 range, just because he was a rookie last year. Not taking away nothing he's done, just because there's more I guess not popularity, but there's going to be more guys saying, well, can he do it again in his second year, right? But Mario was the only one that said top 5, or what was it, Mario?
8.
No, top 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 8. Yeah.
So Anthony and Antone and Alexander, what do you guys think?
AJ, what do you think? You lead out with this.
Well, what I actually think he is around where Mario said, but I think he'll probably be 18 or 19.
Oh, okay. You got some insider information, don't you, Alexander? You said that too confidently, dog.
The reason is just because when I start thinking about it, that's the first thing is that you would take away from him is that it was just 1 year of experience. Otherwise, if we're just looking at last year, I mean, that's like top 3. I mean, I watched every game, so I didn't want to. I might be biased there.
Yeah. I think we're all biased here, except for Mark over here. Mark was ready to fucking. He was like, "Fuck Michael Parsons." Nah, he wasn't playing.
That's my favorite player. Ain't that some shit? Nah, the thing about it is what I said is this is players from players to players, and I think that Mike has just been such a superhero that he doesn't have the full toolbox, so he might not get the respect from other players considering the way they talk about this. You know, when they talk about different players, they say, you know, oh man, this dude has a counter for this and he has a move for that. There's nothing you can do against him. Micah doesn't have that yet. He's 4'3". Power to leverage to rush. There's a few things that are lacking. When he gets those things, he will be the best player in the league, not defensive player. But in my opinion, he's a little further down. You know,
P&V, piss and vinegar.
Well, I'll lead out.
That's what I said, man.
I honestly thought I'm going to go back a little bit to the Tyrone Diggs thing. I thought 23 for Tyrone Diggs was kind of high. I honestly kind of thought Micah would maybe be in. I thought Micah might be in the 20 to 30 range. And like I said
he'd be 23. I said he would be 23.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good spot for Micah. And trust me, I love Micah, but like you said, he's a rookie. He still has a lot of learning to do. And I'm trying to think like top 20 players in the NFL right now. So whatever he lands at, I'm happy with. I'll be surprised if he gets higher than like 15. Like if he gets higher than 15, I'll be surprised. So I know this is a cop-out answer by not giving you an actual number, but I think between 15 and 19 kind of area. So whatever he gets, I already think he exceeded expectations for this popularity contest.
And you know, and if it does fall that way, if it does exceed like 15 or something, I think that you're right. You're exactly right with what you said right there, popularity contest. Because look, hey, to a man, I've never seen anybody say anything about negative about Micah, his personality when they interact with him. I mean, NFL players love this dude because he is piss and vinegar and he's 100 miles per hour. So I think that would actually benefit him in any kind of deficits he might have in his skill set.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I don't even give a fuck because I don't even watch the fucking list.
Me neither. But listeners and fans of the show definitely want to know our opinions on where Mike lands. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Like I said last week, man,
it was a travesty.
68, and Nelson was 28.
Like we said about Nelson, they put the guy that's supposed to be the future him above him, and he hasn't fallen off yet. The fuck?
Thanks.
Also, Herbert and Lamar over Dak.
Oh
yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Dak's injury last year, that's what skewed a lot of stuff. Ability wise,
that has to be the only reason.
We'll see where Michael Parsons lands on this list. Not that we give a shit, but really, we just want to clown. Really, I do.
I know defensive wise, real quick. You can make a strong case for Donald, of course, Ramsey, TJ Watt. Other than that, what other defenders are far and away better than Micah? Like at their position?
Well, you talk to one of your San Francisco one of your San Francisco friends. They try to say it's Fred Warner.
Defensive end.
They try, and I shut him up.
Better defensive end, like a better edge.
Myles Garrett. There you go, Myles Garrett.
I think Myles Garrett's a better defensive end, but as far as football player, defensive player, no, not a better player than Micah. But Myles Garrett's got a toolbox like DeMarcus Lawrence, yet bends like Randy Gregory. You can't deny that type of shit.
And there you have it, everybody. I wouldn't
even count Ramsey in there.
I'll
take Ramsey.
I wouldn't either, honestly.
Hey, well, let's bring this thing to an end, man.
They're kind of the best corner in the league.
I've had my boys on here for a minute, man. Hey, we've been going hard in the paint, so to speak, dog. Hey, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you guys jumping on, and Anthony and Alexander, of course, man. Cowboys fan, dog. I love y'all's work, dude. Y'all dudes keep showing up. Hey, crack them if you got them. You already know how it goes.
If you got them, son.
Hey, real quick though. Hey,
crack them if you got them, son. There it is.
Oh shit!
There it is.
Crack them if you got them, baby. But yeah, man. So let's end this episode, man. And drop your socials. Your social media and content handles.
Drop your social.
Yeah,
drop your social security number.
Your social media handles and your content handles, so that everybody that don't know where they can find Cowboys Fan, they can go and look y'all up, man. If they don't already follow you guys, man, and then of course individually, if y'all do have your own shit out there, man, you know what I'm saying, and tell them where they can find y'all, man.
Well, we actually kind of do it like. AJ takes a couple of the socials. I use a couple of the socials, but we made it super easy. It's all at Cowboys Fan. It's the Twitter, the TikTok, the Instagram, the YouTube's at Cowboys Can Fan Podcast. We made it super simple. At Cowboys Can Fan, you'll find any of it on any platform you like. We try to kind of go on we try to put a little bit of it on everything as best we can.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Like I said, we appreciate y'all coming on, dog. Hey, man, y'all are our homies.
Thanks for having us.
From up top, baby.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
us.
Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it. We love coming on and talking.
Yeah.
Hey, no hard feelings. I'm just a sarcastic asshole.
hey,
He's an asshole.
Takes a bit more than that.
You forgot sarcastic,
man.
Absolutely. Well, y'all already know where y'all can find me, man. I'm at Hopperville on Twitter talking that shit. And like I always say, man, fuck the Eagles, dog.
Fuck them in their asses.
Fuck the Eagles.
Right in the ass with a rubber dick encrusted with barbed wire. This is, and I'm Mark D at Mark D's Corner at Damn That Water's Cold. No, I'm just Mark, tell y'all on Facebook, man. And like I said, a sarcastic ass was just trying to convey some information. Go, Dreezy.
Find me at that boy Dreezy, and I'm glad this turned into another Montreal screw job. So.
Oh, Bret Hart. Are we bringing up Bret Hart right now to my fellas?
I talk wrestling all day. Y'all already know.
Oh man, the Montreal screw job, dog. We don't want to wait another segment.
We're not gonna open that can of worms.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
is that a sexual position?
Is it?
Absolutely.
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Mario Powers Up right there. Also come and visit us on Facebook.
Right there.
Hey,
Facebook?
Talking Boys with the Boys.
Facebook, Talking Boys with the Boys. That's right, I got a Facebook
Talking Boys with the Boys.
And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, y'all need to go subscribe, man. I'm telling y'all, we doing big things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got my boys from Canada on here, man, representing that star, baby, that blue, that silver. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all already know how it goes, man. If you ain't rocking with Talking Boys with the Boys, then you ain't part of the cartel, baby. Boom.